Hi friends, I'm Shavik and today's topic is anti-patterns of a Scrum Master. Yeah, so there can be numerous reasons on why and how Scrum Masters break the spirit of Agile. It can be their, ignorance or their personal trait, previous experience, or even frustration with the team. So I have a huge list of anti-patterns exhibited by people in a Scrum Master role. In fact, I am guilty of displaying few of those during my early days as a Scrum Master. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Number one, lack of understanding of Scrum. So at times people get certified, they read a few articles or watch some videos over YouTube, and somehow they land into this Scrum Master job. So the challenge begins here when they need to work on a real project with a real people. That their lack of knowledge, their half-baked knowledge on Scrum, its values, the artifacts, events, roles, and responsibilities, it lead them to take some decisions which are just opposite of what Scrum says. Number two, non-believer of Scrum values and principles. So this person, I mean this kind of Scrum Master, they know that the Scrum Master job is well paid and they somehow get into this role, but they doesn't truly believe in its values. So such a person is likely to exhibit some anti-pattern behavior. Third, a person is becoming a Scrum Master without understanding the behavioral aspects needed while serving team as a Scrum Master. So there's such kind of Scrum Masters. Maybe they are having a superficial knowledge of Scrum and how what it means to be a Scrum Master and what are the responsibilities of a Scrum Master. So again, it leads to some anti-pattern behaviors exhibited by this kind of Scrum Master. Fourth, not teaching and creating awareness on Scrum process and practice in the team. Fifth, excessive tweaking of Scrum process. That is not Scrum at the end. So little deviation based on teams or organizations context is okay. But if someone kept on changing the process in the name of agility, then it will have a adverse effect on team's capability to execute and deliver. Sixth, giving free hand to team. So there are scrum master who let the team run the show, without any guidance in the name of self-management. Seventh, doing only the clerical job. So there are scrum masters who think their role is to set up meetings, arrange stationaries, block meeting rooms, conduct team building activities, send reports, and so forth. So they fail to understand that there is much more to do beyond this to be a successful in a scrum master role. Number eight, defining technical solution on behalf of the team. So the tech lead turned into a scrum master and is now directing team how the stories need to be implemented. So as a scrum master, we should avoid telling the how part, right? Number nine, avoiding conflicts. So these are the people who avoid conflicts instead of finding ways to resolve it. So they try to hide conflicts and the problems. They don't use retrospective to address these issues openly. So the behavior is against the Scrum values, and it is also very common with the Scrum masters. They doesn't know have a lot of experience with conflict resolution. Number 10, micromanaging the team. So here are the scrum masters, who always worried about number of hours the team members are utilizing in the sprint. They always make sure that the team is fully occupied with the work all the time with no slack time. 11, assign tasks to team members. So yeah, at times Scrum Master assign the tasks or let the PO or the senior developer assign the task to the team members. So this disables the team to take the collective ownership of the work, right? And this happens when the Scrum Master comes from a project management background where the work is already delegated from the top down, right? Number 12, not able to identify risk and impediments. So there are scrum masters who are unable to identify the impediments at timely manner and help the team to resolve them to avoid any impact on deliverables. Number 13, solving all impediments for the team, without allowing them to participate. So it creates a dependency around one person. In the absence of a scrum master, the team feels like a fish out of water and struggles to move ahead. Number 14, no metrics. So not gathering right data or enough data during the sprint doesn't let the team to inspect and adapt effectively. 15, playing the role of a scrum master for multiple teams despite not having the bandwidth. So sometimes management expect them to play the role of scrum master to more than one or two teams, so they can't do justice to their role and to their teams as well when they are part of more than one or two teams. Number 16, Scrum Master is also a delivery manager. So at times, Scrum Master is responsible for the overall delivery of the committed sprint goal. So here, Scrum Master tends to become a supervisor. So ideally, team should be responsible and accountable for achieving the sprint goal. 17. Scrum Master is also a PO. So Scrum Master is expected to drive functional enhancements, connecting with stakeholders, collecting requirements, prioritizing stories, reviewing them, and so forth. So it gets too much for one person to do all, right? And there will be obviously some conflict of interest if the same person is playing the role of a Scrum Master and a PO. Number 18, doing the planning for the team instead of facilitating the plan. So instead of promoting the shared understanding, the Scrum Master is picking the stories for the sprint backlog. 19, influencing the team estimates. So pushing the team to estimate the stories according to their likes is a great team demotivator. At times, such Scrum Masters are expected to review and validate the estimates to ensure that the correct sizing of work is done by the teams. Number 20, forcing the team to make commitments for sprint deliverables. So just like estimates, the sprint backlog should be owned and decided by the developers. Scrum Masters committing the work on behalf of developers will result in a lack of ownership and accountability within the team, right? 21, being a secret agent for the line managers. So yeah, in such case, Scrum Master is breaking the trust of the team, and here they pass on all the insider information to the managers who may use this information during the performance review discussions, right? So team doesn't feel safe working in such an environment. 22, inability to coach the product owner and the team. So not all scrum masters are well aware of the importance of coaching, and they don't even know the techniques to proceed with an effective coaching conversation. So it results in missing coaching opportunity and prevailing issues within the scrum teams. Number 23, playing favorites, showing differences and bias among developers. So it will raise conflicts within the team and undermine the one team feeling among them. Number 24, hiding information from the team. Lack of transparency will lead to lack of trust, right? And the team without the trust will not have enough courage and focus to deliver work efficiently. Number 25, providing explanation for each points during the sprint retro. So at times the Scrum Master take things personally and try to explain and provide justification against the points raised during retrospective. So focus should be on letting the team come up with a solution, some action item, rather than providing justifications. 26, allowing managers to attend retrospectives. Okay, so that's one of the biggest anti-patterns. So it stops the team to, open up during the retro events, and thus, it's negate the whole purpose, the real essence of it, that is inspect and adapt. Number 27, conducting a sprint retrospective in the same fashion. So yeah, it creates a sense of repetition, that stops the innovation and the new ideas for that coming from the team. So Scrum Master should change the format at least maybe 2-3 sprints so that the team can leverage the retrospective to continue improving. Number 28, not listening to the team issues during sprint retrospective, and being biased and pushing their own viewpoints. So such an action from a Scrum Master will disinterest team from attending in future retros or maybe passively present during this event. 29, taking updates from the development team during daily scrum. So as opposed to the actual purpose of it. So the purpose of daily scrum is for the team to come together and share their progress toward the sprint goal, and scrum master is even not mandatory to be present in that meeting. But yeah, there are at times I've seen the scrum masters who were there in the daily scrums, and they used to take updates from each and every team members about what they're doing, how they're doing. It's more of a supervisor again. Yeah. Number 30, allowing developers to work on items other than what's there in the sprint backlog. So these there are the cases when the scrum master is allowing team members to work on something which is not decided or committed by the team during the planning meeting. It can be something ad hoc coming from a stakeholder or a business, or some other item which some idea generation that happened within the sprint, and they picked up and was start working on spending time on those, right? 31, letting the team to spill over work to subsequent sprints every time. So Scrum Master should help team by coaching that overcommitting is not good. 32, taking partial credit for the unfinished work in the current sprint by splitting the story points. So it gives a wrong message, a wrong impression of team's velocity, and it's also undermined the team's ability to predict in a better way. Number 33, not following time boxing. So it happens when a scrum master is new or he's not having good facilitating skills. 34, demonstrating the working software during the sprint review to the stakeholders. So not letting the team demo what they built can be a great demotivator. Number 35, lack of patience. So change takes time and patience is the key here. Yeah, and Scrum Master, they need to teach, guide, coach maybe on the same issue again and again. So Scrum Master must have the patience to continue with the genuine effort to bring in the change. 36, complacent with status quo. So it happens with new or inexperienced scrum masters. So they fear to challenge the wrongdoings of managers, maybe leadership team, or even a PO or a senior developer within the team. So being complacent towards the processes and practices will lead to the downfall of a team. 37, competes against other teams. So instead of competing, scrum master should collaborate and lead by example. 38, acting as a bridge between team and dependent teams, or maybe team or PO, or even with the stakeholders. So scrum masters become a messenger in this case. Number 39, and this is the last one from my side, getting frustrated easily. So it happens when a good scrum master lands into a wrong ecosystem. So when the team is not cross-functional, the team composition is not correct, or there is no support from management, or leadership doesn't understand agile, yeah, or the appraisal system is promotes the individual contributors, and so forth. There can be many such reasons, right? So scrum master should take this as a challenge. It is an experimental ground for him. So rather than getting frustrated, scrum master should take this as an opportunity to coach and get better at their craft. That's a long list of anti patterns, and I'm very sure that I have missed some. Many a times, people ask these questions like, do we really need a scrum master, or what does the scrum master do beside facilitate and setting up the events? And this thought process typically leads to many anti patterns for the scrum master role, right? Often many people who tend to pick up this role do not understand the responsibilities of the role, and only look at the superficial aspects of the role, and then caught into this form of anti patterns. I too was one of them at the start of my career as a scrum master. Like to share one thing before I sign off. Do understand that there are plenty of possibilities to fail as a scrum master, right? Sometimes it is the lack of organizational support, or some people are not suited for this job, and others put themselves above their teams, for some questionable reasons. So some scrum masters simply lack feedback from the scrum teams and the stakeholders. So whatever the case may be, take a step back. So that's important. Take a step back, find out where you are failing, reset expectations, seek guidance, and find a mentor, or just connect with me. So don't let this common scrum master anti-patterns affect your team's ability to produce value. Strive and find the happy place, both for you and your team. Cheers.